to our South Bank kickoff event. It's been a little while since we've spoken to you. I think it was before Christmas that we did our last episode in this series. So happy holidays to all of you. Hope you managed to have a happy holiday period in spite of the ever-present pandemic that we continue to find ourselves in. And happy new year. Hoping 2021 is a much better year for everybody. This is our penultimate episode in our architectural series at South Bank. And we're joined today by some familiar faces and also some new faces. Firstly, we have Ingo Reckhorn, developer at South Bank. Hi, Ingo. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
A familiar face but new to this series is Nikheel Advani. He's Chief Operating Officer at Grace Bay Resorts and very kindly joins us to speak to the unique management aspect at South Bank. How are you, Nikheel? Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thirdly, we have Joe Zahm, broker at Turks Caicos Sotheby's International Realty. And we're hoping for some positive news from you, Joe, from a very challenging 2020. So we're looking forward to that.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And finally, last but not least, we have Greg Blee, lead architect at South Bank. And Greg will be doing his usual bit of taking us through a 3D narration of the Boathouses and giving us some insight into his design ethos for the launch neighborhood. Hi, Greg.
How you doing?
Good, thank you, good. So we're hoping to have some time for some questions and answers at the end of the session. We have a bit of a longer episode today until about 3:15. So we'll take advantage of that time if there are any questions. And we would invite you to please use the chat box just at the bottom of your screen if anything comes up for you as we're going through the session. So now to kick things off, I'm going to hand things over to Ingo, who's going to take us through an update and show us the progress on site at South Bank.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I have a technical challenge for you. Could you enable share screen for me, please?
Ooh, yes, that's always a challenge for me. Here we go. Okay.
Okay, that's perfect. You have clearly practiced. So that's good to see. Can everybody see my South Bank image?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, 2021, finally, I can say. We at Windward are certainly very, very excited about 2021. We'll have our first owners taking possession at South Bank. So that will be exciting to see them enjoy that South Bank lifestyle for the first time. But we have a number of other milestones planned for South Bank in 2021. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those items to you. Of course, we look forward to the completion of our entire lagoon at South Bank in 2021, as well as the adjacent boathouse basin over here. And we look to start construction on our boathouses this summer as well. So in a way, 2021 will be the year of the boathouses. So this is a very good timing for our presentation today. And then, of course, like I said, we have our first owners moving in. We look forward to the completion of our lagoon Lot 12 villa, our lagoon Lot 7 villa, our Ocean Estate 8, and we'll be close to completion on a couple of other villas as well. And alongside of that, with our owners moving in, of course, we have some of the core amenities also scheduled for completion for this year, like, for instance, the tennis courts, the gym, the lounging islands in the lagoon, the beach access, and a couple of other things like that. So needless to say, we're very bullish about this year. I'm very happy with the outlook for the year, and all of that has been fueled by a strong start to the season already, to the sales season. It's great to see tourists returning to the island. We are open. You actually can come to eat in the restaurants here in Turks and Caicos, so that's fantastic. And I think the people that we've been meeting with over the last couple of weeks have really appreciated that. So our sales, as a result, have picked up nicely. We're very happy to have a reservation on our lagoon, lot number 5. We have a new reservation as well from this last week for our lagoon number 8. We were able to finalize reservations on our boathouse A9 and our boathouses A2. So we're very excited about how those last couple of weeks have been. And we expect that to continue on this same trend. Just a couple of impressions of where we stand in terms of construction update. Some of you will already have seen a little bit of this. Let me get rid of this image here if I can. No, I can't. So on our Shoal Villa 8 on the ocean, you can see here that we've started carving in the ocean deck that will allow the access into the water. The roof level has been achieved and completed. On the interior, we're in process of doing all the studding. The floor tile installation will begin imminently, as well as the window installation. Windows are now on site. And we're on track to complete this villa for September of this year. So that will be exciting to show that on site and really experience that unique relationship to the water. On our lagoon villas, 4, 7, and 12, we're progressing nicely as well. Those are the 3 we have under construction currently. On Lagoon Villa 4, we're now at floor slab. That started a couple of weeks before Christmas. On Lagoon Villa 7, we're now building the walls on the 2nd floor already. That's going up nicely as well. You can now stand on the 2nd floor and appreciate the lagoon as it's taking shape. I'll show you that in a second. And then on Lagoon Villa 12, we have our floor tiles down, and the window installation and studding is also imminently progressing or already in progress. The completion for these 3 villas will take place between September and January as well. And then again, a new milestone for us as well. We've just started the construction last week on our Ocean Estate number 16. This is a Banks Villa. The site has been cleared, and as you can see here, we're measuring all the different points. And again, this will also have a serenity pool that juts out to the Iron Shore, which will have that unique relationship to the water, just like our Ocean Estate 8. And within the next couple of weeks, we'll also break ground on Ocean Estate 3, followed by Ocean Estate 4 imminently. So a lot of exciting stuff happening on the construction front. So we're very, very pleased with all of that. But of course, a property like this, it needs great service. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Nikheel shortly. But I've saved the best for last on the construction update side, and that is the lagoon excavation progress. And I always like to say that this lagoon will transform the feeling of South Bank and will transform that relationship to the water from all different property types at South Bank. And this first image, this is 2 weeks worth of excavation that you see here, I think makes it very clear how that transformation will take place. So another 2 months to complete this part of the lagoon, followed by the adjacent boathouse basin, and then the shaping of the islands and the landscaping of the islands. So by the middle of the year, all that will be complete, and South Bank will be a completely new place that looks like the master plan that we've been presenting, and will hopefully showcase the vision that we have for it. And I can tell you that breaking ground on the lagoon excavation is a very, very familiar sensation for me and my colleagues at Windward, and that we had the same sensation when we built the canal at Blue Key, and when we finally had water flowing into that canal, it was really something tremendously special for us, and that's where we stand right now. And in South Bank, we're very excited about that. Like I said, this only comes to life with the right service and management philosophy on site. And as most of you know, we have a partnership in place with Grace Bay Resorts, and I'm extremely excited here to have Nikheel Advani with us today, who will take it away and give you some of his insights of what South Bank is all about for Grace Bay Resorts. So Nikheel.
Thank you, Ingo. Thank you so much. This is very exciting. Firstly, congratulations on what you just presented. I think the excitement that I feel to see that lagoon is shared by all. It is very exciting. So I'll start with, we've been honored to know these principals and developers for many, many years. I think the relationship came as they were sharing this vision they have for this amazing lot that was on the South Shore, which is uniquely different. its relation to the water, its whole sense of adventure, offers something totally different that, you know, a lot of the North Shore properties don't have. So when we were talking in the early days, one of the things that kind of aligned us was our DNA, our commitment for excellence, our commitment to our people, and the fact that the developers and principals have been on island. We've been in this business for more than 20 years now. We started with our flagship property, Grace Bay Club. And when I came 20 years ago, just before 20 years, we had about 40 staff, 40 strong. It was 21 suites. It was right on the ocean. And slowly, my partners and myself, we grew this. And today we have multiple properties on Grace Bay Beach. We also have a villa division, and we're developing more properties as well. What makes this property so unique and different is a whole sense of the relation to water and adventure. The fact that it has a marina, and it has a combination of a resort residential community. So you have villas, but you also have the boathouses, which they bring this together. So that's really very unique. In our growth in the islands, our commitment is to excellence. How do we redefine service in the Caribbean? That was sort of how we thought about service, because, you know, I opened a number of Ritz-Carltons, running the Raffles Hotel in Singapore before coming here. And we realized that the people were very, you know, very willing. They had passion. They had this unique thing. And how do we tap on that and make this come alive? And so over the last 15 years, we've attracted some of the best talent, whether they're from the Four Seasons, from the Amans, from the Raffles hotels of the world, and together with the local community, started a college to start to train all these services. And today, fortunately, we're voted either in the Caribbean or within Turks and Caicos as one of the finest resorts, whether it's Condé Nast Traveler, Rob Report, Travel and Leisure. Our goal is to focus on our clients. And that's the whole service experience. From the time you pick up the phone and call and say, I'm coming down to the Turks and Caicos, we want to take this whole service experience, make it seamless for you, hassle-free, a pure luxury experience. As you come down, we book all the restaurants, all the things that you need. You should be able to come down and just relax and enjoy yourself. And that's what we've succeeded with our properties. This whole experience of the marina is a great one. It's different, it's unique. And we have a lot of guests within our properties who've shared this warmth and being a first of its kind in the Turks and Caicos, we feel that will add to our whole portfolio and give this difference to these guests. In terms of unique service experiences, we want to make sure that when you come to these islands, you don't have to worry about a thing. And what makes us unique is that not only have we done the condo side of things and the hotel side of things, but also with the villas. 5-6 years ago, we introduced the residences, which was the first fully serviced villa. So with the access that we have with the travel agent community in the US at the highest levels and the villa company, it gives us a lot more resources to put in the type of business and the type of clients that we want to be able to make this resort, shine like it does. In terms of what excites us about South Bank, as you can see, I mean, your presentation just alone and the quality and the architecture is unique. It takes, and I've said this to Greg before, and he knows this, I think the developers at Windward have really come in here and taken architecture just to another level. It's exciting. It relates to water. You can see the way it speaks to the environment and the ecosystem that they're building. So we think this is going to be really exciting. We're thrilled about it. The services that you have are like any five-star hotel. The services should be no different that you get in Aspen, Monaco, Singapore, and London. And that's what we want to bring to the table. The other thing I'd like to say is that, you know, having a great wellness program, which is very important today. After 2020, we all need a touch of wellness. And I think that's going to be enhanced in terms of our food and beverage offerings. That's something we're very strong at. We've got a tremendous amount of depth and bench strength in our team for food and beverage. So that will be relaxed yet sophisticated. But, you know, if you need a chef in your unit, you've come back, you're not willing, you don't want to cook, you just tell us what you need. We'll get a team in there. We'll make sure your experience for that evening or that afternoon is second to none. And that's sort of what we see providing in this resort. I'm sure there's time for questions, and I'm sure there's a lot more to share with you. But I think we're just very excited to be part of this team, and we'll do all we can to make sure that this becomes one of the top and most sought after destinations within the Turks and Caicos for our guests. Ingo, do you need me to add anything else again?
Thank you so much, Nikheel. No, I think everybody will have chances to ask questions afterwards. So no, I'd just like Joe to say a couple of things. I think, Joe, you wanted to speak a little bit about the real estate market in Turks and Caicos and how you see South Bank fitting into that and what the outlook is.
Thank you, Ingo, and thank you, Nikheel. That was great. Your energy is infectious. I'm known for my energy as well. Hey, 2020 is going to be known as the year of COVID, right? And if I were to say on March 19th, when the borders closed in Turks and Caicos till July 22nd, and when the stock market nosedived and we stopped selling real estate completely for the period of a couple months, that we would have just concluded a record year for my brokerage and come within, single digits of the market last year, between 300 million this year and 330 million last year. I would have thought that to be a great miracle. And so when we look back on that, we say, well, how did we get here? To quote David Byrne from the Talking Heads, right? How did we get here? And when I look at it, I think we saw a glimmer of hope and a bit of what I call to my team on one of our bi-weekly Zoom calls there. We're just trying to keep from crying and keep our spirits up, probably much like your team meetings at GBR, Nikheel, during that period, is I saw a path forward for the market. And the reason I saw a path forward is because I started to look around. I was stuck in Philadelphia back then with my family. And I started to look around and see that luxury real estate, after a brief period of nothingness, started to move. And it started to move in the affluent coastal towns of New Jersey and New York and Connecticut, all the way through to South Carolina and Florida, Vail and Aspen, the Hamptons, etc. And we saw that high net worth families and people with money made clear decisions in their life. There was a great quote from an agent in the Hamptons that people's life plans changed in the course of a weekend. And I think that was not overstated. People who were on the fence were thinking about buying real estate, saw Turks and Caicos or these other places before predating Turks and Caicos purchases as being a safe haven and being a place where they wanted to be. They didn't want to rent as much. They wanted to own. They wanted to control their space. And we started to see that momentum occurring in the United States in these premier markets such as Aspen, Vail, Hamptons, et cetera. And what we saw happening was a good traction in Turks and Caicos, especially towards the latter half of the second quarter, which was aided by government stimulus where they have stamp duty. That really helped to motivate people who were already looking to buy. And we all got better with virtual marketing and virtual communication in order to bring many purchasers over the line. And while we were having, this conversation on yet another Zoom meeting, I asked my team, why are we selling? Why are people buying real estate in Turks and Caicos now when they can't even get here? They're buying, they can't get here. They can't even physically inspect their property, and they're spending they're buying multi-million-dollar properties virtually, or they had seen it before, but we're going through FaceTime. We're going through FaceTime tours, or they were using 3D Matterport or photos or videos, whatever, Google, Snapchat, Google Hangout, whatever the distribution, mechanism was to provide information. And Nina Sigenthaler, who is, many of you know, my partner and the top broker in Turks and Caicos by quite a mile and one of the top agents in the world, just said simply, people want to be here, she said. And I think it's really true. People want to be in Turks and Caicos. Look at the wonderful crowds we've had, not crowds, but the wonderful clientele, Nikheel, that we've had over the last months, just seeing the people on the street and in restaurants. We just have a clientele that's really dedicated to our brand and really believes in our brand and is really a part of something with us. And I go back to our fundamentals, and our fundamentals are very simple to me. We're the finest combination of luxury and ease of access and use in the Caribbean, the region, and anywhere proximate to the United States and Canada and North America. We even have a direct flight from the UK. So what that does, it just makes things easy for people. And during COVID, people want easy. Life is so complicated. Life is so complicated. Are my kids going to school? Are my kids going online? Can I travel here? Can I go to the office? That there's a level of simplicity and beauty that combines with our mantra, beautiful by nature, with our slogan that really speaks to people. And we started to really see traction and really rode that traction out through the rest of and closed the fourth quarter like champs. We did have another more minor stimulus at prices less than 2 million. And that was less of a factor than the second quarter stimulus, but the stimulus certainly helped us for the year. But I would say that we're starting off 2021 like gangbusters and there's no stimulus in place. People are making their decisions. The person that bought the place in the Hamptons, it's of no value to them in January, right? They want to be warm. They have the means and the funds to be able to do it. So they're buying new properties, whether they come from New York or Philadelphia or either California or Texas, the Southeast, Toronto, Western Canada, a bit of Europe. We're seeing a wonderful breadth of geography and a terrific demographic, coming to Turks and Caicos. So, in a nutshell, we've passed yet another stress test with flying colors. And that is added to Hurricane Irma in 2017 and the financial crash that we had prior to that. And now with COVID, and we're really seeing that Turks and Caicos is a luxury brand that is just an unstoppable force in so many ways. Now, with regard to South Bank has made great progress and is beautifully positioned, as Ingo demonstrated with his update. And he also gave a bit of a sales update as well. So I don't want to duplicate him. It's certainly what we're finding in the fourth quarter of this year, that the things that we told people last year, they're seeing. And there's an old saying, don't tell me, show me. And we do have wonderful three-dimensional imagery, as you're seeing behind me and behind Courtney and behind Ingo. But sometimes seeing is believing, right? So when we bring somebody on the site now, they feel the energy of the site. When Courtney sends someone around, or Pat or Mike or Nina or one of our team, and we do a tour with Ingo, they can feel the energy on the site. And that is really mostly with regard not only to the construction start of the villas, but also with breaking water level on the lagoon, because the lagoon is really going to be the heart and nucleus of the project. And it also really makes the launch boathouses come to light in terms of the relationship when the basin gets cut out, in terms of what that geography and topography is really going to be like. So at Ocean Estate, with 2 homes under construction and 2 more soon to follow on their heels, we have that portion, which is our luxury and ultra luxury segment of South Bank, really primed and ready to go. We made a very significant $6 million sale just recently, which we're very proud of, and that has started construction. Ingo showed those photographs earlier. And we do have now a new model, if people didn't know about it, called the Reef Villa, which starts at 3.2 million. I think we're close to signing up our first one there, but we really have good momentum on Ocean Estate. The Lagoon Villas, we have sensational momentum. We have enough sales and reservations that we need a scorecard to keep track. I think, Ingo, we've had 2 new reservations and going to contract just this week, if
That's
I'm not
correct.
mistaken, with another one soon to come. So the Lagoon Villas they're a highly unique product, right? Because there's nothing like it at the circa $2 million level, to have your own space and your own villa and a protected lagoon with a beach, great to swim and paddle board and kayak, wonderful for families and safe. Also, a bit more weather protected, sitting behind the main bluff. So we're seeing just tremendous activity on that, and they're going to be very popular for sale and are sure to be for rental as well. And then at the launch boathouses, Greg Blee is going to show you some really amazing virtual images coming very shortly. And they're, again, highly unique, that you can have a luxury townhome on the water with your own boat in front for anywhere from $795,000 to $1.295 million, whether you're buying a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 2-bedroom rooftop, or a 3-bedroom. So the combination of the great work and the front-loaded capital and effort that Ingo and Ivor and Kyle and their team have put forward, along with the strong capital that they have, has really put the property in a great position to succeed. And I'll and I'll benchmark what Ingo has shared with this, that they keep it very simple in terms of excellence in design and execution. I think if you look at their Blue Key development, that is a real testament to the excellence in design and execution, and also adding tremendous value by adding water experiences that hitherto were not on that piece of geography, right? So now that you're seeing these lagoons being cut, and you've been by South Bank and you see the beaches there and the piers and the wonderful canal, you can really get a sense of that. So we're enormously, proud of being involved with this project, and with Ingo and Ivor and Kyle and their capital team and their whole entire construction team. And we're really proud to be a part with Grace Bay Resorts as well. We've had a tremendous relationship with Mark and Nikheel and Therese group for many years. Shout out to Nina, who has held it down at Grace Bay Club for a long time. And we're really super excited about 2021. I do think it's really the tipping point for South Bank, from being a wonderful idea and having its early energy to really being a force of nature in the development space and the hospitality space moving forward, not just in Turks and Caicos, but in the region as well. So again, thanks to everybody. I just wanted to end on one, a little bit of owner feedback that we've gotten as to why people have purchased. And I think the one is, what has attracted people the most to South Bank? The answer from one of our owners is the reputation of the developer, superior design aesthetic, managed resort, layout and mixed use of the land development, access to the water, and the resort amenities, the location on Long Bay. For one of our boathouse purchasers, what attracted you to it? The answer was the iconic design, the community feel of the launch, combined with the size of the units and price point, along with easy boat access right outside your door, really feels it's a solid investment. And then specifically, what feature do you like the most about the 2-bedroom floor plan you chose for yourself? And the answer was it has a shaded roof deck for outdoor living, combined with direct access to the water and owner's private deck, just steps from the back door. And then how do you see yourself utilizing that boathouse? The answer was initially with some use as an investment for long-term use, residential use as a second home to retire. And this goes back to what Nikheel said in closing, that it's a resort and residential community. It's not just a busy hotel condominium project. It's not just a standalone villa that's remote. It's those things tied together, which gives our purchasers and future rental guests the best of all worlds. So thanks to the team for everything you've done to date. Really excited for 2021, if you can't tell. Back to you, Ingo.
Thanks, Joe. I mean, if nobody's ever told you, but you should consider going into sales. You're really quite good at it. Well, thank you very much for all those kind words. That was lovely. Also, thank you for reaching out to one of our buyers to get their feedback. That's very valuable to get that from them as well. So let me take you back to my trusty little presentation here. We've talked a lot about South Bank as a whole now, but obviously today's presentation is supposed to be specifically focused on the boathouses. And like I said, in a way, this is the year of the boathouses. This is the year we expect to start construction on the boathouses, and that will have very important effects on South Bank as a whole. And I just wanted to outline a couple of things about the lifestyle of the boathouses and about what I think is special about them. Not only that you're in an intimate community of 38 units that has a dedicated pool and lounging area, but also the way it's seamlessly tied into South Bank as a whole. And I just want to just highlight that here with this short flyover video that just showcases the sort of the way all the architecture is tied together, but also how it's tied into the ocean and the water experiences all around you. And of course, being with our South Bank Marina as one of our amenities, it will make water living and true island living as convenient as you could possibly imagine it to be. And something that you really only realize once buildings are going up and you walk through them on the different floors and see the window openings being formed, and you see how much water you have around you here at South Bank. It's, I think, unparalleled, certainly for Turks and Caicos, in that you see the different bodies of water, whether it's the Marina Basin or the lagoon or the actual Caicos Bank oceanfront. You see it all around you, no matter which bedroom you look out of, and that's quite unique and quite special. And the same will be the case for the boathouses as well. And of course, from a lifestyle perspective, the boathouses are all about water sports and nature, whether it's diving, fishing, boating, or the non-motorized water sports, things like kayaking and paddleboarding. It's right at your fingertips. People who know Turks and Caicos, the outer islands like West Caicos and French Key are just a hop and a jump away by boat. So that allows for quite spectacular experiences that are very true to the Turks and Caicos lifestyle and island living. Then Nikheel mentioned it, of course, wellness and dining, and that executed with the Grace Bay Resorts service philosophy will be special. We have our gym here and our spa here, just adjacent to the lagoon, and our clubhouse where the main elegant dining will take place. Relaxed sophistication is what we like to talk about. But also you will have concierge services at your fingertips that will bring you your private chefs into your home, should you choose to, that will organize that picnic on the beach, should you wish to. And those are all things that we find are extremely important for the enjoyment of the islands and the beaches around us. And then, of course, last but not least, not everybody wants to live an active lifestyle. Some people just want to enjoy, and the letting yourself drift and relax on the different beaches that we have at South Bank, and a bit further afoot if you decide to do that excursion by boat, then it's right there, and it's in the true island living spirit of Turks and Caicos that can be taken advantage of. And all of that's at your fingertips at the boathouses. And yeah, just to talk through the different amenities, I just want to point this out over and over again, because the boathouses have their own pool and have their own lounging area with barbecues and so on and so forth. But you will also have access to the same restaurant experience and concierge experience, bar, boutique, the spa and the gym, the tennis courts, the swimming lagoon and the lounging islands, as well as the two other beach experiences at South Bank, which will be the Long Bay Beach access for the long beach walks, and then the serviced resort beach with the second casual waterfront restaurant that will be just adjacent to the boathouses as well. And of course, you're in a protected environment. The entire South Bank site is security protected, and you have access to the marina services. So I saw a comment on the chat about the length of the boats. So yes, boats at the boathouses are limited to 26 feet. If your boat is 27, I'm sure we can make it work. But we also have other slips at the South Bank Marina, which are being created as we speak, with 54 slips that are available for rent at preferential terms for South Bank owners, up to 60 feet. And we have a water concierge program where you can have that boat brought around to your dock when you want it, and picked up again and have it washed and serviced and fueled for you. So the overall experience of boating will be unparalleled at South Bank. And then, of course, like Nikheel mentioned, the residence and rental management on a world-class level should not be forgotten when talking about amenities at South Bank. And before I pass on to Greg, something that's a regular question for us, what's the timeline behind all these things? And there's a lot of information on here. I just want to point out a couple of the key points. By July of this year, the lagoon and all the other boat basins and water bodies will be completed, so middle of this year. And then in August 2021, subject to achieving 6 more sales, we're now at 9 for the boathouses, so 6 more sales. We will start construction on the boathouses, and over a period of 24 months, all 38 units, including the pool in the center and the barbecue areas and the showers and everything, will be built. So by mid-2023, the boathouses will be complete, And in that time period between August 21 and August 23, most all of the other amenities at South Bank will be completed as well. So with the completion of the boathouses, South Bank will be 90% complete. And I think that's something exciting. That's 30 months away. That doesn't seem like an eternity. And we feel that yeah, it's the right time. And like I said, again, third time's a charm, the year of the boathouses for us. And with that, let me pass on to Greg so he can actually show you some of the architectural details of the boathouses.
Thank you, Ingo. Wow, God, that was energy and information. So I thought we'd just have a look at some pretty pictures now and take a bit of so behind me, we've got two sketches. This is, oh, hello. This is one of the earliest kind of thoughts that came into our head. This is a building by Eras Matias from Portugal. We really try and look to other parts of the world that are producing really high quality contemporary architecture, have the same kind of environment as ours. So Portugal is always quite you get a good feast in Portugal of really good quality, really elegant architecture. So this was a key reference point for us. And then next to that is one of the earliest sketches that we made of the boathouses. And you can see the linkage between them. So now I'm going to share screen. I'm going to show you a fly through. 1 second. Okay, so I think the important thing to explain before we start is that the buildings sit on an existing peninsula. So there's a piece of land that we're kind of wrapping with this new architecture. And the way we tackled the idea of having 38 homes together clustered on this peninsula was to break them into 4 different bays, if you like. So on the left here, we've got the 10 boathouses in a line, and then a break to the next bank of them. And what that allows for is long distance views to the ocean, to nature through the gap in between them, but also areas that allow you to kind of relax. It gives you a variety of spaces, outdoor spaces. So as we come round, you'll see these banks of boathouses. And I think the important thing to note here is that because they're kind of in a circle, they offer very different orientations for preference. Some people are morning people, some people are evening people, some people want the deck on the back, the dining deck, to be in sunlight early in the morning. Some people want to have drinks on a terrace late at night. So there's that variety, that opportunity to kind of choose the orientation of your building is kind of a key point. What we want to do with the architecture, because we have 3 types of building in this for the boathouses. We've got a 3-bedroom home. We've got a 2-bedroom with a roof terrace, and we've got a 1-bedroom. But we needed a kind of architectural framework that would allow for variety and consistency at the same time. So in each one of these banks of boathouses, all that variety exists, but they look homogeneous. So there's a kind of overarching architecture that kind of brings them all together. So we're coming around, we're seeing now one of these pocket parks. This is facing northwest. So this would be very nice for evening time. And you know, we've kind of highlighted areas that, you know, you can kind of lounge out, have a drink, meet friends, and kind of have a break, which is a framing device, if you like, to allow you to kind of see out of the boathouses to nature beyond. So now this video takes into the center of the property, and at the heart of this is an amenity space that captures a swimming pool. And I just want to kind of bring to your attention one area. What we want to do is have quite a big body of water, not just a kind of small pool, but a body of water that can take on lots of different activities. So you can see this kind of the lightness in the water here. That's a low wall that you can sit on, which is below water line. This is an area zoned for doing lengths, and this is a kind of shallow area underneath these trees that we've kind of positioned in the pool itself. So it allows for lots of different activities to happen at the same time. in addition to this, there's barbecue areas, there's shaded areas for dining out. There's obviously lounge space for sun loungers, and you know, it's all kind of wrapped in landscaping. So it kind of, you know, it sets itself within the backdrop of boathouses. So as we come round, we're going to enter this house at the end here, which is a 2-bedroom with a roof terrace. And I'm going to highlight a few points as I kind of enter. So the first one is that this is the front to back home. So the main living space is totally permeable visually from front to back. So you will get a view of nature, of the landscape and water beyond. So, you know, a lot of the issue with designing these kind of properties is that typically you end up with corridor spaces, lots of kind of boxy rooms off corridors. It's not particularly light filled. It doesn't allow for the passage of the day, the sunlight that changes throughout the day, to kind of permeate into the property. And we were very keen very early on to make sure that the landscape was brought in, the light was brought in at various times of day, and the living space to be front to back to make the most of the 42-foot depth and 20-foot width of the property. Here we've got a nice little design moment, which is a space for a desk behind a window, or indeed an inbuilt kind of banquette. And as we come into the property, the lights come on, and I'm going to pause it here because this is an important moment where there's a lot happening in this. Actually, we position the kitchen in the center of the plan that allows for the primary living spaces to be connected to the outside. So in the far distance is the lounge. This area in the front was the dining room with that inbuilt seating, as I've mentioned before. And on the left is a timber panel. We want to bring in some natural materials. So this is a timber paneled staircase which contains storage. Obviously, you need lots of storage in these kind of properties, and the powder room. So, you know, we've worked every moment of this house as hard as possible to kind of include as many different features and functional spaces we possibly can. The other point to note here is that, you know, it's a very high-end kitchen. It's Art Linea from Italy. So we've got an Italian kitchen, bespoke made, designed for this particular property. We've got Italian floor tiles, Floss Lighting, which is a really high-end lighting brand. So, you know, even though these are you know, 1,400 to 2,400 square foot, relatively compact homes, they've got tons of design and tons of high-end products in them. As we come through, the ceiling height here is 9.5 foot. That contains this bulkhead above you, delineates the kitchen space, but also allows for all the servicing, the air conditioning, the air handling units, et cetera, et cetera. And because we've kind of compressed and compacted the air handling, the air conditioning units into one space, it allows for the main living spaces to be as bright, as spacious as possible. And we've highlighted that by including these timber beams running left to right. And, you know, that's a really nice design feature anyway. It brings in a detail which is, I think, is important. This is a kind of domestic look, but also the kind of coloration of that will bring a kind of warmth into those spaces and maximize the floor to ceiling heights at 10'6". And I think it's worth saying that, you know, the floor above level 2, we've got 10-foot ceiling heights as well. So these are not mean in terms of their floor to ceilings. As you come to the rear of the property, you come out onto this dining deck, and I think the nice thing about this is it's slightly elevated, so you get really good views. It's worth noting that this kind of artistic image of the natural landscape across the waterway is actually protected. You know, that's part of Ingo Winwood's property boundary, so that's a kind of protected view if you like, and so the point I want to make here is the kind of tiering of outdoor space. So you're standing at a higher level, flush inside outside from the lounge space out to dining dining deck, and then a staircase that takes you down to the dock below. So there's multiple opportunities to kind of be outside, to enjoy being outside near the water. So we'll swing around now, and you'll see those spaces unfolding. And it's worth noting, you know, we were very sure that the potential issue with these kind of properties is about privacy. So we've included a lot of privacy screening, a lot of solid walls, if you like, between the properties, so that, you know, you're going to maintain a private outdoor environment, even though these are townhomes, boathouses. The other point I want to make here is, dining deck at this high level, a dock at a lower level, which allows for water sports storage and for sitting out as well. And then each one of the bedrooms has a terrace which comes out from the property and will kind of move up the building. And you'll see, the rear bedroom has this lovely little glass balustrade defined terrace that allows kind of really good views from that second floor level. As we come up, this is one of the properties. This is either, the 2-bed property with a roof terrace, and it's got a shaded area. So this is a really kind of usable space which allows, entertaining. You can furnish it. We try to kind of describe the kind of amount of furniture you can get up there to really kind of make it a very usable space that is shaded and allows you to sit out for a lot of the day in the shade. And I just want to kind of point out that the pixelated quality of the buildings, there's a kind of a version of it, if you like, which are these shaded areas, and that allows for long distance views to nature. So even though this is a collection of 38 homes, we've allowed many different points within the property to kind of look out and look beyond and look to either water or nature. And I will now hand back to Courtney.
Thank you, Greg. That was really wonderful. And yeah, I'm always amazed at how much sort of water view that you do have from these townhouses. Even just the space that you've left between the buildings. It's really wonderful. So we've had quite a few questions since we've been presenting. Our first is from Joseph Ciano, and hopefully I haven't butchered that too much. And his question is probably one for Joe, and he's asking, what is the best way to visit and tour the property from the USA?
Well, I think the first step would be, thank you for the question. I think the first step would be learning as much as you can before you come. And that's with regard to, we have drone footage, we have the virtual information, and you can discuss with one of our agents in terms of that information. And then when you come down, I would just set up an appointment and then take a tour with Ingo, and we'll show you around the property and take it from there. But there's a lot you can learn beforehand, depending on the product that you're interested in. You can be free to reach out to Courtney or me or someone else, and we can make sure that you get set up with the appropriate person.
And Nikheel and his team will be able to accommodate you while you come down.
There you go.
Most definitely.
Something for everyone. So our next question is from Mike Wendelar, and he's asking, he also asked the question about the boat size and dockage that you helpfully answered, Ingo. And he's also wondering, please, how deep is the water at the dock in front of the boathouses? And secondly, can you use a golf cart?
So yes, it's 8.5 feet depth all around the boathouses. So that accommodates boats of all sizes that would be relevant for South Bank. You can use a golf cart, not in the water preferably, but all around the site. Obviously, there'll be golf cart parking at the different points, whether it be the clubhouse or the Long Bay Beach access and tennis courts and so on and so forth. So absolutely welcome.
And this is probably another one for Joe. This is from Michelle and Brian Legat, and they're asking, what are the HOA fees?
Well, the boathouses are structured differently than your typical condo on Providenciales, meaning that you don't pay strata fees. You pay homeowner association fees or HOA fees. Those fees are $500 per bedroom per month, correct, Ingo?
That is correct, yes.
So 1 bedroom be $500 a month, 2 bedroom $1,000 a month, 3 bedroom $1,500 a month. The other thing I don't think that any of us have mentioned is what was also unique to this product versus your typical condo product, or certainly anything in Grace Bay Resorts portfolio of properties, is you will be able to rent your property long-term. That means if you have another property on island, as many of our homeowners own multiple properties in Turks and Caicos. If you do and you want to buy it for investment, you can rent it long-term instead of short-term if you choose to. or you're waiting to retire, or you might not be coming down very much for the first couple of years and then coming down later. As one of our homeowners spoke about in our testimonials, that's another route that you could take, and it provides more flexibility than your typical your condominium regime in Turks and Caicos.
Mhm.
Maybe adding to the comment about the HOA fees. So in the case of the boathouses, those HOA fees cover a contribution to the overall homeowners association at South Bank, which takes care of the site security and all the maintenance of common areas, beach service, and also takes care of the boathouse pool area and servicing that. All the landscape insurance, so that's hurricane insurance and flooding insurance for the actual structures. So the only costs that you would have as an owner outside of the HOA fees are your utilities, so your power and water, as well as should you choose to have content insurance for furniture and things like that.
I have a question for Ingo. Ingo, how about dock maintenance for the boathouses? If the dock needs repair, how would that be handled in the future?
The docks will be taken care of by the HOA as well. So the dock maintenance will be covered by the HOA as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ingo. The next question is from Billy Zahala, and he is asking if there's dry storage and maintenance available for the boats in the marina.
Absolutely. So there's a 75-ton lift that is able to take boats of all shapes and sizes out of the water, and an ample dry storage space. So the marina has almost 10 acres of storage space.
And a second question from Billy is housekeeping available?
I'll leave that one for Nikheel.
Most certainly. Anytime you want. We usually do 2 times a day, morning housekeeping and then the turn down service. But again, this is based on what you like, what you need. Our housekeepers usually will kind of learn what sort of services you like and to make it unique, especially for our owners. We've done that a lot. So we'll be happy to do that for you as well.
Thank you, Nikheel. And we have one question, Joe, from Stan Ponte, who's asking what are the price ranges?
First of all, super friendly welcome to Stan, our wonderful colleague from New York City, who has helped to champion Turks and Caicos to so many people around the world. Stan has a very amazing network of top agents in the United States and North America, and even around the world. And he has an exciting website being launched soon called Our Trusted Network. So I'll put in a little plug for Stan, and thank you for joining, albeit late. The boathouses range between $795,000 for a 1-bedroom to 2 bedrooms starting at $855, 3 bedrooms starting in circa 1.1, and then we also have 2 bedrooms with rooftop terraces. And because you came in late, our lagoon villas start at 1.85 million, and our main ocean estates, our luxury and super luxury properties start at 3.2 million. Great to have you, Stan.
Perfect. Thank you, Joe. And it doesn't look like we have any other questions from our attendees. Is there anything else that you guys might want to add? Anything from our panelists?
I just want to say one last thing from my side, and that is, we're very fortunate as Windward to have a great team of individuals and experts working with us on all these different projects. So we obviously, you heard from Greg, very talented architects with Blee Halligan, then obviously our service and maintenance and management partner, Grace Bay Resorts. We're super excited to have you guys on board. Obviously, Sotheby's, you've done a great job for us, so thank you very much for that. And I don't want to forget our construction team as well, JW Construction and CMDB Marine Construction. They've done a fantastic job for us over the years, and all these are partners that we've had since our Blue Key time, and we like to join forces with companies and individuals that we have had great experiences with, and only then can you have extremely great results. And I feel that we're moving towards that. So we're super excited and very fortunate and blessed that that we're all here together. So thank you all for being here on this call today. And we're looking forward to a great 2021.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ingo.
Bingo.
Thank you. And thank you so much to all of our attendees for joining us.
Thank you, Courtney. Great job.
Thank you, Joe. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you on what will be our final session in the architectural series, at least, for the Lagoon. So we will keep you posted about a date for that. And thanks again to all our panelists. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.